Hey guys, this is Mike Tarallo with Qlik. So this video is a companion to the design blog entry for chart recommendations. So within QlikSense April 2018, which will be released at the end of this month, and there will also be a what's new video on that as well, you will notice that a new capability that we've added is chart suggestions or chart recommendations, which is provided by our new cognitive engine, which will take the existing data that's been loaded into the app and use that data along with augmented intelligence and best practices to recommend best associations within your data model, as well as chart visualizations that best fits your data. So let me give you a quick example. So right now I've already created an app and I'm just going to add some data. And I have my folder open here with some of my data sources in it. So I'm just going to grab my orders data. And based off of that data set, here are all my fields. Now, I'm also going to add another piece of data in here. This is going to be my customers and products. And you can see how the product automatically recognized that we have multiple tables and that there is some things in common with the identifiers or IDs or columns or fields that are in these tables. And that's what this recommended associations panel is showing us here. So basically, it is giving us an idea on how it thinks that these particular columns in these tables should be associated. So at this point, I can preview the different columns and the different table associations. I could preview them all. I could inspect the individual links, and then I'm going to click Apply All. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I do have another video that goes into this into more detail, so we'll just leave it as is. So I have my data model prepared, and now I'm going to load this data. And now we'll edit the sheet. So where the cognitive engine really shines now is within a matter of seconds, I can create analysis from my measures and dimensions by simply just dragging and dropping them onto the canvas. So for example, if I grab country and just drop it onto the canvas, the product knows that this is a location dimension, and it determines based off of this assistant switch, in other words, it is on by default for chart recommendations, that country is going to be an area map. So what it's going to do is highlight all the countries on a map, as you see here. Now, we also have introduced a new mapping component in QlikSense April 2018, but we'll talk more about that in the What's New video. So at this point, I want to grab a measure. So I'm going to grab my sales, and I'm just going to drop it right on top of the map. And the suggestion is now coloring the countries by sales. Now, if you want to make adjustments to this or turn off the assistants, you click this button right here, and now you have access to all the different properties. So let's take this one step further. I'm just going to grab sales and drop that right into the canvas, and it takes sales and it creates a KPI object. Good way to keep track of the performance of your metrics. Now I'm going to grab product name and drop it right on top of sales. And now it assumes that I would like to do a comparison by those various products. So it creates a bar chart. Now I'm going to take this one step further and I'm going to grab my category name. And if you think about it, category and product are kind of in a hierarchy. It now creates a tree map, which is good for representing and visualizing hierarchical type data. So you can see sportswear is a category, and then the individual products are available as the colored boxes. So if you don't want to use assistance when you're dragging and dropping, you can hold your shift key. So let me give you an example of what the default looks like when you just grab like a dimension of contact name. Now I'm not going to hold the shift key. I'm just going to drop it onto the canvas, and it's going to automatically create a table. And you can see this is a table element. And then I can grab, for example, category name, and it'll add elements to the table. Now, if I wanted to create a simple list box, I hold down my shift key and then grab the field and drop it. And you can see now it's a list box, where before, when I grabbed country, it actually created a map. Okay, so holding a shift key will disable assistance and create a simple list box. Okay, so we put two elements here, two dimensions. Now I'm going to grab my sales figure, and you can see being that we had multiple dimensions, in this case contact names and category names, you can now see we created a distribution plot, which now shows you the distribution of those particular categories with respect to sales for each of those individual contacts. Okay, another great example of when utilizing multiple dimensions in a measure, the type of visualization that is created. Okay, let's take one more example. Let's grab our sales figure once again, and this time I'm going to grab order date. And by doing that, it creates a line chart because it knows using a line chart is the best way to depict data over time. In this case, my order date. Okay, you pulled my leg. I'll do one more. So let me just move this line chart out of the way. And let's grab country. And that's a dimension, so it's going to plot an area map with the map object. And let's grab sales. Okay, very similar to like we did in the beginning. But now I'm going to grab another measure. So in this case, 2 measures and 1 dimension. So we're performing a correlation of sales and margin. And what do you think it produces? As you guessed it, a scatter plot. And there you go. Now, one other tip I want to provide to you, depending on the name of your measures, we will also change the default aggregation. So for example, sales at this point is just listed as sales in my data model. It defaults to sum of sales. Now, I also have the field sales in my data model, but I gave it the alias name average sales. So by taking the actual field name of sales and giving it alias of average sales, when I drag and drop this, it actually performs the AVG, or the average aggregation, on the sales alias, in this case average sales. So that's another tip within the cognitive engine that will perform different aggregations based off of the name of the field or the alias of the field. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you. Understand that this will be available in Qlik Sense Cloud as well, and is in Qlik Sense Enterprise and Qlik Sense Desktop. Please leave your comments or questions where this video is posted, either in the YouTube comments or in the comments in the Qlik community. I'd like to thank you for your time. Take note of these other resources where you can learn more about Qlik and Qlik Sense, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.